The Giants avoid the sweep. 21-17 win in Dallas in the first ever playoff meeting between the two, and including the two games in the playoffs, New York has now won 9 straight games on the road, which dated back to Week 1 when they lost the only road game all season in Dallas. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz alongside NFL.com's Pat Kirwan, CBS Sports' Charley Casserly, and a fantastic football game to end divisional weekend in both games and in 4-point victories for the road team. And obviously here we're just focusing on the Giants. Charlie, 14 all at the half. Dead even game. What was the difference in the second half?
Well, there was a couple of things that hit me. One was special teams for the Giants. The big punt return in the second half by McQuarters puts them in a field position, gives them a short field to go down and take the go-ahead touchdown. The other thing was the pass rush of the Giants. In the first 2 losses this year to the Cowboys, they were not able to get a pass rush. In the fourth quarter today, the pass rush came alive. First of all, it was blitzes, and finally one-on-one matchups. That put pressure on Tony Romo.
You know, and as I watched the first half, there's Marion Barber, and he's setting the tone for the Dallas Cowboys. And Charlie and I got talking about it, and I said, that guy might run out of gas. And Charlie said, he's never been the full-time player. We're going to find out. He fizzles in the second half. More pressure on the quarterback. Could he take advantage of a beat-up secondary? He couldn't do it. Peter Junta and all the coaches over there got all those kids rallied together. No Sam Madison, no Ross, and they're able to go out there and play solid pass defense.
And R.W. McQuarters, Corey Webster making the plays down the stretch for the Giants and made a big play. You mentioned Tony Romo a little bit, and we were talking in the first half. A 10-minute drive that he led in the second quarter. They opened the third quarter with an 8-minute drive. The offense was moving very well. Poise, fourth quarter. It wasn't there. A couple wasted timeouts. They took some penalties, and he didn't throw the ball away when he needed to.
And he got outside the pocket a few times, and there were opportunities to throw the ball away, and he doesn't throw it away there. Then, later, he's in the pocket and really can't throw the ball away, and he does, and he gets caught for it for intentional grounding. I thought we saw today Romo has not won a playoff game. He's been Bill Parcells warned us, don't anoint this guy yet. He was anointed. He didn't come through today, and Eli Manning did.
No, not today. And the Cowboys' drought of playoff years without a win continues in the playoffs. Meanwhile, you mentioned Eli Manning, Charlie. I think the last 3 games, we're seeing maybe one of the most balanced offenses in the NFL with the Giants. The way they're able to run the ball, especially today with Brandon Jacobs, and the way that Eli Manning is controlling the offense and managing it perfectly, especially the last 2 weeks.
Well, you're right, and balance is the key there. Last 3 weeks, the Giants have been able to run the ball. What's that do? It sets up the play action. Manning, like most quarterbacks, is better in play action. The other thing they're doing with Eli Manning is they're taking advantage of the short passing game, completing a lot of balls short, not trying to put a lot of pressure on him to win this on his own. So the balance has been the key, and I think the other thing is, hey, go back to that New England game. That was a big confidence builder for this football team. Mental toughness, it's showing up for the Giants.
It really is showing up, and if you're a Giant fan, you should be excited because a guy named Steve Smith came through. Kevin Boss came through. Bradshaw came through. A lot of young players. The core is in place now. The Giants are going to Green Bay, man.
Yeah, let's look forward here because, yes, the Giants are going to Green Bay, and again, they'll be the underdog, and it'll be cold, and maybe it'll be snowing, and they're going up against a team that's very hot and scored the most points it ever has in playoffs, and that was 42 against the Seahawks. But again, this Giants team has not lost on the road since Week 1. They've got all the confidence in the world, Charlie. Match them up with Green Bay.
Yeah, I think Cinderella, the ball is over here come next week. The difference between what the Giants are playing this week, next week, and the last 2 weeks, Dallas stumbled down the stretch. Tampa was not a great football team. They played in a weak division. Now they're going to play a team that's playing the best ball in the NFC. I think next week the secondary does get exposed. I think next week that the Green Bay defense swarms all over, shuts down the running game, presses on the wide receivers, takes it away. I think it's going to be a tough win for the Giants. Green Bay, I think, is going to the Super Bowl.
Pat, you agree with that?
I agree with it because Brett Favre is not going to make those mistakes that the young Tony Romo made today.
And they even showed it during the game, a play that Tony Romo, when he just flipped to Jason Witten, they flashed back to Brett Favre when he did it to Donald Lee yesterday. But Brett Favre, as you mentioned, he's not going to take the intentional grounding.
When his team was down 14-0 yesterday, 6 for 6 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well inside us.
They went another 45 minutes without having to punt the football or turn it over, did Green Bay. But we've got a whole week to preview that game and a whole week to preview San Diego at New England. Those are the 2 championship games. 4 teams left, 2 spots in the Super Bowl, which is coming your way, of course, February 3rd. For these 2 gentlemen, Pat Kirwan and Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. That's it for the Subway postgame show on CBSSports.com, but watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. Take care, folks.